Greetings, everyone, and welcome. We are on day 4 of my free 3-week training that I'm going to be doing, and it is about stimulating your business. So I'm very excited for you to bring some new energy and flow to your business. And how we're going to be doing this is one, I'm going to be giving you some training about astrology, business feng shui, as well as favorable timing with the TimeBlazr. So this whole week has been about astrology, and I'm very excited to let you know that we've got a number of good tools for you to capitalize on to really have one of your you know best years ever despite what's going on. So the thing that I want you to understand is that we are going to be looking at the yin and yang of business. The yin side I'm going to provide for you with these trainings, and that is going to be what I just talked about is person, space, and time. Astrology space would be feng shui, and time with the TimeBlazr. But you are going to actually use your own good energies as well as your business model, even if you don't even know what that might be right now, because maybe you got displaced during this whole year and a half of lockdown, and maybe even the job doesn't even exist anymore and you need to create something new. That's where metaphysics are really going to help you to regain your footing, because you're going to also be relying on universal support. So I need you to do your part and you partner with me, and I'll do my part. And just to mention to you as well, this training is going to take as long as the training is going to take. So I don't want you to think that, oh, this is, a 15-minute, real quick little promo video. No, this is actually training. And so the training starts with you understanding that it just is going to take a little bit of time, but this is hands-on. So we have already spoken about quite a bit coming up to today. And we already looked at the world trends, the 5 elements. That was on day 1. Day 2, we talked about the first 3 animals, ox, tiger, and rabbit. Day 3, we talked about the dragon, snake, and horse. And today, even though it says day 3 on there, we're on day 4. We are going to be talking about the goat, the monkey, and the rooster. So we're almost through the zodiac. We're halfway through before I start today's presentation. And then tomorrow, we're going to finish up the animals. But what I want you to do right now, if you are new to the community, first of all, welcome. And I hope that you are someone who is, really excited about, whoops, we don't want to go that far. I hope you are someone who is very excited about, bringing some new energy into your business. So what I would like for you to do first is I'd like you to download your chart. And how I want you to download your chart with this in mind is you need clients, you need service providers, you need maybe some helpful people. So if you have their birth information as well, go ahead and plug it into the software, because it's going to help you figure out why they're behaving the way that they're behaving, if you will. So just go to freebusinessastrology.com and go ahead and download those charts. Okay, then the second thing that I want you to understand is that we are going to be talking about these animals. We're going to just dive right in. But if you missed the other ones, just go back, look on my YouTube or Facebook, wherever you're chiming in from, and that's where you'll find these past recordings, because we're not going to go over that at all. But today we are introducing a new concept. So the first thing I'm going to do on each slide of the new animal that I'm going to be talking about, I will be talking about the animal, the energies of the animal. We talked about on that first day when I was talking about the astrology charts that the year is about your networks and market expansion. The month is about your career and your character. And then the day is about you and your partnerships. And then your hour is about your goals and investments. Means a lot more than that. Again, I'm not going to repeat. I'd rather just get right into the topic. But this is new starting today, is you're getting a first glimpse at just the month view. There's month view, year view, day view, hour view, but I'm just showing you the month just so you can see a bit of the calendar to get started with. And so the month of July is called the goat. So we'll get in more into the TimeBlazr the following week, but I think it's important for you to understand that, you know, the basic system is real standard big brushstrokes is there's going to be very vibrant days. Those are going to be indicated by the green. And then there's going to be days that have lower energy, but you can use every day. It's just you need to be a little bit more creative. But I'm going to teach you how to manage your calendar the TimeBlazr way starting next week. And so if you're listening to me live, we're on an initiate day on the 15th, but we're going to kick it off with the TimeBlazr on the 23rd. Now, with that in mind as well, the other thing that I want you to understand is that we want you to find something that you can launch at this point in a couple of weeks' time. So time is money, right? So we don't want you to sit back and think about this. The last thing I want you to do is hit that save and watch later, because all of this is very time sensitive. We have exactly 6 months left in the Chinese year of the metal ox. So we're right in mid-July. So we actually only have 5.5 months left. So if you're thinking on the Western calendar, you've only got four, you know, really excuse me, there's 6 months in the Chinese calendar, and there's only 5 left in the Western calendar. So with that said, if you really want to hit your goals, then you need to have a plan in place. And this is your plan. You do your good work, and I'm going to help you with another side of looking at your business. So there's a lot of people who will write a business plan, a marketing plan, and they stop there. This is taking all of that information and just really kicking it up to that next level for you. So this is a really great opportunity to really try something new if you haven't done so already. All right, let's get back to what we were talking about here. I guess you got a double screen with me there, but that's okay. So we're talking about the goat. Now, this is the year of the ox, and the ox and the goat in astrology means that they're at the opposite sides of the zodiac, and this is what creates a clash situation. So a clash, I'm really not that afraid of clashes if you use them in the proper way. What I mean by the proper way is a clash means you're going to lose something. There's just no ifs, ands, and buts about it. You are going to be losing something with a clash. So if you guide it, then there's less chance of you getting whacked by the universe and going, what the heck just happened here? So if you know that you need to get rid of something, you know you need to let go of something, you know that you need to have some closure about something, this month actually would be a very good month to do it. Now, a clash can be a bit painful, but again, if you guide it and use some good timing with that, then you're going to have a better opportunity and better outcomes and more, if you will, favorable to you. So, all right, let's talk about the energies of the goat. As you can see, there are really actually zero good energies for the goat, but don't click off now just because you heard that, because I'm going to show you a number of different ways in which if you have a goat in your chart, that will help you. And as I had said in previous videos, that all of the animals have certain attributes throughout the year, and it shows up on what we call a 24 mountain compass, which would be reflective in the segment, which is going to be about feng shui. So if you have a goat in your chart, then you're going to want to use some of the other directions within the compass to help boost your energy. So I'm going to tell you about other animals that are going to get along with the goat that will help you as well as I'm going to indicate some animals that you need to be aware of as well. Okay, so all right, so let's talk about the goat. So like I said, it's the year of the ox. So the goat has what's called the year breaker, and that's the exact polarity of the year, if you will, the opposite side of the ox. So really what this means for goats is that there's going to be some big change in your life this year. Now, if you have a goat in your chart, where would the change show up? Would it show up in the year, the month, the day, or the hour? And then you just look at this little cheat sheet that I did here, this little infograph, which will tell you what are those attributes that will be shifting. And if you have a goat in your chart, go ahead and indicate it in the comments and tell me what pillar it's in. And then when we'll do a little bit of Q&A after to see if I can help you further, right? All right, so basically, if you're standing in front of that change, you can redirect it and use the energy to your benefit, if you will. Like I said, make a plan. Make a plan to improve yourself. Maybe you need to, get a new look. Maybe you need to lose a few pounds that you might have put on the last few pounds that you might have put on in the last year and a half. It could be that you need to maybe get rid of those bottom tier clients that are really doing nothing but sucking you dry, and you need to elevate your client list with some clients that really appreciate and value you. That's what I'm talking about, of ridding yourself of things that are just actually taking you down. So look for some business opportunities as well. Now, the other thing that we have for the goats this year is that you're going to have some petty people that are going to show up in your life. And so just kind of take note of it. Know that typically when you have petty people, it's people that have too much time on their hands, and that it's really more their problem that they're projecting onto you. So do keep in mind that petty people are petty. So, that's how the best way you can do it is do your best to just shrug it off and have a better understanding with the way that you communicate with them. Okay. Now here's one that you may not like hearing, and this may have already happened to you, is you have what's called the big spender in your chart this year. If you have a goat, which means you are going to part with, if you haven't done so already, you are going to part with a good deal of money. So this is something that you can plan for. For example, it's a great investment for you to invest in your education, maybe a new business skill, honing your skill, or something like that. Invest in a nice coaching program that is really going to help elevate you. You're going to lose the money anyway, so don't lose it, invest it. So, and if you don't think about it, it may be you end up having to buy a new car. And right now, if you've heard, I'm not sure in the rest of the world, but I'm sure this is a global impact where, it's very difficult to even buy a used car, let alone a brand new car, because of the shortage. It's a supply and demand thing right now. So you may be paying more for something, even though you did plan for it, but you're paying a lot more money for it just because of timing and circumstance, which there's nothing we can really do about that. But just know that you are most likely going to be spending a lot of money. Now I'm going to just even put something into not to make you, but I'm saying this to help you be aware. This year you're going to be spending a good deal of money, and that's gonna even trickle into 2022 in the year of the water rat. Excuse me, water tiger. So what I want you to think about is, how can you budget? How can you improve your cash flow? Maybe you need to get a side gig, something like that. But if you have a goat in your chart, you rest assured you're going to be spending a lot of money this year. So again, when you can guide it, invest it, that might be a better way of directing this energy versus, oh my gosh, I didn't know I had to, that big expense. So help yourself out when it comes to that. Okay, we'll talk more about the TimeBlazr next week, as I said, but let's move forward. All right, so the combination animal this year is the horse. Now, I talked about the horse extensively yesterday, so if you have a goat in your chart, you are absolutely going to want to go back and listen to the horse, because it has, a good feng shui attribute, which I'm going to speak more deeply about feng shui next week during the feng shui week. But just know that the horse has some very, very good energetics. And this might be where you go to the companion animal to help you out. Now, how do you do that? You may have a horse in your chart, or you may need to find someone that has a horse in their chart. So that's one of the better ways to do that. You can also use the TimeBlazr by finding a horse day or using horse hours. Again, we'll talk more about the TimeBlazr next week. I just want to prime the pump that just because you have low energy in any particular animal that I might be speaking about does not necessarily mean that, oh, I might as well stick my head in the sand this year because I'm going to have an awful year. That's really a very close-minded way of looking at your potential. Everyone, and I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's the big gurus around the world, the Dalai Lama, whoever you want to talk about. Everyone is going to have its ebbs and flows. Remember, he did get, he had to leave Tibet for a reason, and there's a whole feng shui reasoning behind that, and things that were in his chart that made that that there was a perfect setup for that. So what I'm trying to say is everyone is going to go through life challenges. How you deal with those challenges is what's going to make you a leader, an influencer, and a winner. If you coil in them, and everybody does, including me, everyone is going to have issues within their life. So the more that you are able to act instead of react is where you're going to get your most gains. And as they do say, and I am here to tell you, that when you have things that seemingly your world is collapsing around you, that's where you can find opportunity. So look for the lessons when challenges come. Okay. All right. Those are for my goat friends out there. Okay, so let's look at another way that you can tap into getting some energy for the goat. So the animals of the rabbit and pig are also your best friend. Now you have to have one of these animals in your chart. So the rabbit, again, doesn't have the best energy this year. The pig has a little bit more vibrant energy, but when you put a goat, a rabbit, and a pig together, you create a sort of a hidden piece within your chart that's called a 3 harmony combo. And you have to have all 3. So you can either have them within your own natal chart or within the destiny cycle, which we briefly spoke about in day 1. Or you could find other people that have these animals in your chart, but again, you have to have at least one of these to create a 3 harmony. Then the third way would be is to find them in the TimeBlazr, or finding rabbit days, rabbit hours, rabbit months, rabbit years. Well, the rabbit year is a couple of ways away, so we're going to have to now look for rabbit days or hours, because the rabbit month, which is in March, has already passed. The pig month is still ahead of us, so you'll still have an opportunity to use the pig. But these are different ways in which we want to bring more power to you. And how you do that is you bring these animals together. Now, when you bring the 3 that's trying together, what do? You get more wood in your chart. So what you need to do is go at the bottom of your natal chart, just one row down to sort of center left. There's going to be a little chart there that says 5 structures, and it will tell you the combination of the yin and yang of the 5 elements. And here are the 5 elements right here. Yours is going to look different because you have a different natal development or DNA than this particular person that I'm using here. And so your different indicators, I mean, wood could be any one of these five structures. Now, you may not even have one or two of the elements in your chart, because that's what your birth chart indicates. So that kind of goes beyond what we're trying to say here, but if you need a little bit of wood, this is where it could help one aspect. One of the things I would be leery about bringing in more wood is if the wood area, whichever it shows up on your chart, is like the metal example here and it's completely full, means you probably don't need any more of that element. So, you know, too much of any good thing is too much of any good thing. All right, the clash animal, as I said, was the ox. And we have it for the entire year, but this particular month is probably the most challenging. And one of the reasons why I decided to do this mid-year review now to help you during this challenging month. For some of you, it could be off the charts amazing. I was just working with a my group that I do a monthly mastermind with, and one of my clients said that she's having an amazing month. And so not everyone, it depends on what's in your astrological chart though, right? But she's doing everything that she needs to be doing. The person space time, and then one other tool that I'm using with them as well. But what I'm trying to say is that this is for some, it's going to be challenging. Look for the opportunities. And, you know, sure shooting, this person had challenges before that allowed her to also figure out how to best use the energies that she's dealing with. All right, let's go over to the monkeys. Now, I am going to, hold on here. See if I do it right this time. Okay, I want to talk to you, those of you who have a monkey in your chart. This is another reason why I am doing a mid-year review, because the monkeys have some pretty incredible, vibrant, benevolent, whatever word you want to put in there, energy in 2021. In 2022, it's going to be the year of the metal tiger. And the clash animal to the tiger, which I'll show you in just a minute on a slide, is the monkey. So next year, we are going to have a very different dynamic for all of the animals. But there are certain animals that I want you to take note of, because this is your opportunity with this last, you know, like I said, at the time of this recording, 5.5 months to, let's say, pedal as fast as you can, speed up everything you're doing if you have a monkey in your chart, because the benevolent energy is being distributed to other animals in 2022, and I don't want you to lose out on any opportunities. So take note of what I'm saying right now. If you've got a monkey in your chart, to do the best you can to really use every piece that is going to help you further and stimulate your business. Okay. All right. Let's go back to the monkeys. Let me get me out of the way a little bit here. All right. And then the month of August is called the monkey month in the Chinese calendar. So do take note of that. And it has 4 stars. This animal has 4 stars this year. And again, whether it's year, month, day, or hour. And if you've got a monkey in your chart, go ahead and put it below and tell me where it is located. Okay. All right, so the monkeys, the first thing that the monkeys has is something called dragon virtue. This is just kind of a classical term for what the monkeys have this year. And this is kind of a, you know, it is a welcome change, because in 2020 it really wasn't that great. So you got a year to kind of pick it up, but then it's going to drop just a little bit next year. But anyway, this means, the dragon virtue means a couple of things. One, if you've got problems that maybe been built up for years and years and years, this will help you find solutions. Now, yeah, solutions may drop from the sky, but first you got to identify what some of these obstacles are. So this is going to be your own reflection to figure out maybe where that problem first arose. If you really look back on the problems that you have today and look back where you agreed to something, where you went off track or off the rails, that's kind of where the starting point is of you figuring out how to undo some of the things and problems that are happening in your life. So that's where I can advise you to use some reflective time. And also, this means that you will have some good luck as far as your career is concerned, especially if the energy is showing up in the year and the month of birth. This will be very benevolent for you as well. And you should also see some prosperity as well as helpful people. So the dragon virtue is actually quite fortuitous for the monkey. And another way that you can tap into the monkey is be in the southwest sector. Now, I want you in a specific sector when it comes to the dragon virtue, which we'll talk about next week. But just for right now, it's in the southwest area. For those of you who have been following me, it would be the Southwest 3, but we will talk about that more extensively next week. Okay, so the other thing that you have is leader. So you have a very nice energetic that is in your chart this year that is going to help you be that influencer, help you be that top tier manager if you are working for someone else. But if you have your own business, oh my gosh, do not wait another second to get your word and message out. Um, Another thing that we were talking about a little bit this morning is like, what is stopping you? Like, what is something that's stopping you? And someone said their website, and it's like that's stopping this person from taking their next step. So the choice is either do something about the website or figure out if that's really what's going on, or is it something else. Like, you need to just keep asking yourself, what else, what else, what else, and then find that one point where is it the website or is it something else that's getting in your way. I mean, to just put up a landing page to direct people over to getting onto your mailing, you don't need a website for that. Just get a landing page, and there's many different ways in which you can do that, right? Okay, so the leader is going to help you have power and authority, and you'll actually have some supporters along the way. So, make sure that your message is clear. Make sure that the message is where you want it to land on people, and then and then deliver your message. So, this is something that's going to be very important for you as well. Okay. The other thing that the monkeys do have is contentment. So this is about bringing happiness and kindness and balance. You can do this in your personal life, in your professional life, but try to find some more compassion, within yourself so that people can, be helpful to you. And then this can also be used, like I said, very, very well to deepen relationships, not only finding and attracting new people, but it can also help deepen those relationships. Do watch out for, here's some of the, every animal is going to have some things that are going to be positive and challenging. So here's some of the challenging that we do have to watch out for as well. Is you do have to watch out for fraud. So you want to make sure that you back up your devices. You want to make sure that you have, antivirus on your computers, devices, and things like that. And you may want to get into the habit of changing your passwords, because this could cause a major setback, as you know, if you end up having some issues as far as your identity theft and things like that. You might be a little bit more forgetful. So if you need to do, like, some sort of reminder to make sure that you do things on time or in an efficient way, there's a number of different trackers out there that can help you use it. I would have to say probably one of the most used apps on my phone is my timer, because I'm always timing myself to make sure that I can stay productive and things like that. So use whatever works for you, but this is something that could help you stay on track and remember, oh yeah, I needed to do this at a certain time. You definitely want to slow it down a little bit and make sure that you are kind of crossing your T's and dotting your I's, if you will, that you don't get into too much uh, trouble because of carelessness, if you will. Okay, then let's go on to the animals that are going to be helpful and some that are going to be a little bit challenging. So let's start with the helpful ones. So the monkey and the snake are best friends. So again, look for a snake. And if you remember a few days ago when I talked about the snake, this was an animal that didn't have a lot of positive energy. So the snake can ride on the back of the monkey to help them out just a little bit as far as energetics. The snake also has a couple of other different energetics with the monkey, but let's keep it with the combination for right now. So if you need more water in your chart, just to go briefly over what we did before, just look at your 5 structures, look at your 5 structures, not what's on the screen, because this is going to be different from yours. And then you need to have at least one of these animals in the chart. So you'll need a monkey, a dragon, or a rat. And then you can look at, we can still tap into the rat month, which is in December. The dragon has already passed for the year, so you'll have to wait for next year on that. But you can always use dragon days or rat days or monkey days and hours. That in the monkey month, as I said, is coming up in August. So you can use that as one of the animals to trigger the water trine if you want to trigger that into your chart. And I'll show you how to do that more when we talk about the TimeBlazr. The clash animal we talked about at the very beginning is the tiger. Remember, there's big changes coming with the positive energies for the tiger and the monkey both in 2021 and 2022. We've got a very different dynamic. So those 2 animals are definitely ones you want to bring forward for you. All right, let's talk about the rooster. The rooster is another one of the animals that are very positive in 2022. 2021. Sorry, I'm trying to keep all these different animals in years into place here. But basically, the rooster has both positive astrological attributes and it has very positive flying star. I know that's a new term for you if you're not familiar with feng shui, but we have a flying star and a feng shui training that's coming up next week, but that would be dealing with the positive and the challenging energies of 2021. So that training is going to be next week. I'm just laying out the ground rules, if you will, or the base foundational piece with the astrology, because it really always starts with you, and then how do we personalize your space, and then how do you personalize the dates, which will help you have a holistic way of looking at the yin side of your personal and professional life. All right, so let's look at just briefly the right hand side of your screen first. This is the month of September, which officially starts on the 7th of the month. It never starts like the Western calendar, so it's indicated by this little bar over here. And this is the month view that I'm just showing you right now. But it has a little bit more vibrancy, as you can see, because there's more green days. That's what we're looking for. The green means go. The other days, yes, are usable, but for your important launches and things like that, important milestone activities. You're going to be launching a website. You're writing a book. You spend so much time doing all of these best efforts. And what if by chance your publisher says, you know what, I need your last draft by the 3rd, and we're going to be launching it on the 16th. Don't launch on a destruction day. That's not helping you. We want to, find a day that's much more vibrant. That's how we're going to be planning out the calendar a little bit. All right, but let's specifically talk about the rooster. The rooster has authority this year. And so this is an animal that, it's kind of, like that leader type, but it's more influential in the respect. It's going to help you make right choices about big decisions, and doors will open for new opportunities, which is really great for the roosters. That's wonderful. And then you also have reward for this year. And so this is going to help you with your career and business activities as well as financial gain. So, here's where, you can look at, this kind of energy, like, oh my gosh, it really hasn't really happened yet. So you have to kind of put in your business model what it is that you are doing, and then turn it into, turn it into prosperity, or turn it, like, take on that authority role. That authority role will open up doors for opportunities, and then that will turn into, some financial, or you monetize that information, and that's how it's going to help you. The next thing that you have going for you is good questions. So you need to ask good questions to get good answers. Sometimes when I'm either going to networking events, or conferences, or just speaking to people, some of the questions that they ask, it's like, my gosh, you're right in front of like this major, influencer, and you're asking a question that is just like, why would you even waste your time asking it to anybody, let alone, it's just like, time is precious for everyone, not certain people, everyone. Time is precious, so use it wisely. Sometimes it's asking challenging questions, and asking those challenging questions to yourself, and that's going to help you really elevate yourself. So this is a year, and we're seeing that the time is ripe for it right now. If you have a rooster in your chart, this may be the timing to raise your rates. Ask for a raise, ask for a bonus. This is where this can help you a little bit, because the rooster has this energetic to be able to ask properly for this right question. So the key though is like proving yourself. Just because there are people that just because they've got the seniority doesn't mean anything, especially if you're and I've seen this in many companies, that people say that, well, I have seniority here, so I should get more of. Well, are you giving more to get more? Just because your tush is in the chair doesn't mean you're productive either. So you have to keep the balance there, as well, right? Okay. So this would also be like, if you're working with a coach, is really asking them, to help you with some of these challenging questions, because a coach can only help you, or a mentor can only help you, if you're asking them the right questions. You might even do a follow-up question. If you were in my position, what question would I ask? How should I pose this question? And then I can help you with the timing and all of that. But basically, really what you want to do is really get out the good questions. Okay, now, the other thing that the roosters have going for them is the triple harmony, the 3 harmony. So it is with the year. So the ox, even though it's the year of the ox, did have some good energy with it. The snake, not so much. And then the rooster. These 3 we'll talk about during the triple harmony very soon. But that is that third energetic that it has working for them, because it companions with other animals. Now, the challenging energies for the rooster this year is, you might take a little bit too much risk. So you might get reckless in not really dotting the I's and crossing the T's. You might go, oh, I've got all this good energy for me, I'm just going to push things through. That would be a wrong strategy, because sometimes, not sometimes, every mistake costs you time, because you have to either pay for the consequences, or you have to go back and correct them. So that's where you can definitely help yourself here. There's also a potential that you could get into an accident, like a physical accident. That's anything from chopping, just not paying attention while you're watching something, or talking to somebody while you're chopping up some vegetables or something, and slice your finger, as well as, a fender bender, or worse. So do watch, do keep your eye alert, pay attention is basically what I'm saying. And then, definitely we have to watch out for metal related accidents, especially knives, cars, things like that. Okay. Watch your aggression this year. So there might be, some unpleasant energy that's going to surface because of just kind of fighting battles. And so competition could be strong for you if you have a rooster in your chart, but just kind of watch for you not keeping your eye on everything that you need to be watching over, because that's when someone can take over because you haven't been paying attention. So that's something I do want you to watch out for. Okay, so the best friends are the dragon, and remember the dragon has the moon this year, which is very, very good. Listen to that. As far as astrologically, feng shui wise, not so much. It has some problems this year, and flying star this year. So we'll talk about that spatially next week. But the rooster and the dragon definitely have some very good potential going for them this year. So you want to combine the rooster with the dragon to help out that dragon a little bit. And then for the three harmony, we're going to see metal coming from the rooster, snake, and ox. As you're starting to see, because there's only 4 different trines. There's metal, wood, fire, and water. There is no earth trine, and the reason there is no earth trine, there's always an earth animal within the trine. So there's a whole theory behind all of this as well. I'll just throw it out there for those of you who are interested. There's always a travel animal in there, and then there's also always a cardinal animal. So when you add these 3 together, you get an element. In this particular one, it's metal. So again, look over on your 5 structures, see where metal shows up in your chart. Do you need it, want it? If you do, find ways either through another person, your own chart. You may have 1 or 2 of these animals already within your natal chart. It will show up in the destiny charts, but you have to be within that destiny cycle, or you use the TimeBlazr, which we will get more into when we talk about that. Then the clash animal is the rabbit. So these two do not get along too well. They're opposite sides of the zodiac. And so when a rabbit shows up, we will clash the rooster or vice versa. So again, not so annoyed by clashes. There's other combinations that aren't as pleasant. All right, so here we are towards the end of our day today. Tomorrow we are gonna talk about the last last 3 animals, which are gonna be the dog, the pig, and the rat. So what I would love for you to do is a couple of things, if I could get your help on it. Number 1 is if you could send this URL, bit.ly/stimulate your business. If you can send that to your friends and family, your colleagues, I would really appreciate that. I'm putting a lot of effort in this for you, and I would love for you to help me help you and help your network. And so if you could send them over to that URL, that would be amazing. I'm going to put that up on the screen right here as well. And like I said, tomorrow what we're going to do is we're going to start talking about those three animals: the pig, the dog, and the rat. But what I also am going to do is I'm going to also put this URL up, because I want you to already download this if it's convenient for you, but take note of it anyway. Is freecompassdial.com. And I want you to start thinking about getting your floor plan together. So there's a number of different ways in which you can do that. And that is, you can hand draw it yourself, which I don't recommend unless you are able to draw in something like Illustrator, or you're very accurate. I mean, you can do old school and take out a measure and do all of that. I don't know how big your space is, but that could be, a weekend project for you. But I want you to be ready by next week, because again, we only have a few more weeks left in this free program. And then I'll tell you, soon about, if you'd like to take this a little bit further, how you can, month by month continue to keep your space vibrant and all of that. But the first step would be getting your floor plan and getting these compass dials onto your floor plan. And so we're actually going to have my assistant Alice come on uh, um, next week and maybe tell you a little bit about, getting your floor plans on. She'll definitely be on, post production of this, and going into, working together. But what I do want to let you know is I just know for all the years that I've been doing this work is that when you look at your space as a way, let me see if I can pull one of these over here. And this down there. Okay. When you look at your space as a way of achieving your goals, you are really tapping into the right way of living in your space. I don't care how beautiful your space is. People, as a matter of fact, people construe beauty as feng shui. That's not beauty at all. I want you to think about if you've ever had a crush on someone and they were just this beautiful human being and you just thought that they were just, oh my gosh, if I could just only be with that person. But then you found out that this person was really not a nice person at all. They were toxic. They just took you down. I have seen more times than not a space take somebody's good business idea down because they fell in love with the beauty or they were too set in their ways about my dining room is a dining room and I'm not going to turn it into an office. The dining room never gets used ever. Even Christmas and holiday, because it's just too much to, like set the table and all of that kind of stuff. But that's the most vibrant area of their entire space in this lockdown time. Use what you have when you're ready to get back out and all of that. But even still, you should be using the most vibrant areas of any space. And I don't care if it's just one. Let's see, I did this as a kid. Uh, just using it as a box. You just got one room in a larger office suite or something like that. You want to still be setting your space up for success, and that is using the vibrant areas. So I can't say enough how much that would be important to you to do that. Okay. All right. Let's see. Do I have? Okay. All right. So I think that wraps it up for today. Let me see if I have any comments here that I need to address. Hi, Eleanor. Let me start at the top versus going bottom up because sometimes I do that wrong. Oh, hi, Eleanor. You're here live today. Thanks. You're calling in from the UK. Thanks for joining us here in the US. Elham, I'm sorry if I massacred your room. Hi, Kathleen. I've been watching the new series since day one. Yay! So glad for you. My question is how to bring more water into my chart. I miss all the 3 animals in the water combo. So with that said, there's different ways of bringing in. You might have elements in your chart. So I'm not sure what your chart does say, so I can't manufacture the comment there. But is there any water at all? Are you void completely of water? And if you are, then we're going to have to start bringing in water in different ways. And what I mean by that is it would be from an annual influence, like last year in 2020, it was the metal rat. So there is water in the rat, but how does that connect up to your chart? Number 2, we're in the yin ox year, and there's a little bit of water in the ox that's hidden in the water. And so there's water that's coming into the year. Now, there's a lot of different reasons why you would want to have any one of these elements. We like to see a balance. We like to see at least one of the 5 elements, one of each of the 5 elements in your chart. And I, honest to God, I think I've only seen, of all the years, and I've been doing this 20 plus years, I've only seen maybe less than 5 that actually have all 5 of the elements in their chart, yin and yang. Very, very rarely do you see that. So what that means is when you do have, and let me take the one that people normally get most wiggy about or get nervous about, is I don't have any element in my wealth element. That just means, and I know a number of people that do not have the wealth element in their chart. It's void. They do not, it doesn't exist in their chart. So what do? This means that most likely your money is going to come from your own hard efforts versus the universe providing. It doesn't mean that you're not going to be wealthy. It just means you got to work a little bit harder for it. It's not going to be as easy. And or the timing may not be right. Or in the respect, like, let's just say I have no idea how old you are. Let's say you are in your 30s and your wealth element in the destiny part of your chart, which is at the bottom, sort of midline, there's like, it's called the destiny cycles, I call them on my chart. And so on my charts, and then, there's like 10 boxes. And so those are there are 10 years within each one of those boxes, but your wealth element may not show up until you're in your 60s. So that's where it's like, okay, I need to maybe use the annual energies like last year, or anytime water shows up in the elements. And all I want you to do is I want you to look at those destiny cycles and look to see where the color blue is showing up. Now, what's sad is somebody in their 30s comes to me and their real big wealth came when they were kids. And so, unless you get an inheritance or your parents are wealthy, you just kind of get what you get, if you will. But, or if you're someone who doesn't really, save, budget, or know how to handle their money, it may come to you, but it slips through your fingers. Well, that's another issue of not having wealth at all. You just don't know how to manage it properly. But one of my best things, the quick way for you to do this is look in the destiny cycles. In your case, look for water, because that's what you asked for. And what is the timing? And those are 10-year blocks. Now, within each 10-year, there's going to be, like, for example, the year of the rat, the year of the ox, the year of the tiger, the year of the rabbit, dragon, da, da, da. So there's going to be 10 years within each one of those cycles. That's the best that I can help you with right now. I hope that helped you a little bit. And if it didn't, please give me another comment and we'll try to answer that for you tomorrow. Okay. Eleanor, we need to use monkey, dragon, and rat times in the space. But yes, Eleanor, that is correct. And thank you for helping me with that comment, because you've been a longtime follower. But you have to have at least one of those in your chart. If you don't have a monkey, dragon, or a rat, you really can't use the 3 harmony, because it doesn't connect with you. There is no connection to you. And it has to be in your natal chart. Goat in my month. Better news for goats next year, by the way. I'm not sure. I think you were referring maybe to Eleanor's comment of monkey, dragon, and rats. But like I said, you have to have at least those 3. And maybe tomorrow put in all 3 of those animals, and then we can see. That will be in week 2 and 3. Well, Eleanor, you're doing my own advertising for me. Thank you. Love you. All right. And Jen. Hi, Jen. I'd love to know what you think about daylight savings time. I'm a triple horse, only if I revert back to a non-daylight savings time in June. So your chart is calculated. You put in your actual time of birth. Do not calculate daylight savings time or different time zones. You put in your actual time of birth, and the chart will calculate the correct chart for you. So, like I was born very early in the morning. And then, and they actually put on my birth chart the daylight savings time. Well, I'm within that 2-hour time slot. So for me, it doesn't really matter. What really does matter is, like in your case, if you were born at, let's say 11:30, let's just keep it 11:30. But you factored in daylight savings, whether it be spring or fall. I'm not sure what month you were born in. Well, you're born in the horse month, so it would be the summer months. So then it would revert it back to 10:30, and that would no longer make you a horse. put what is on your birth certificate, what the time of birth, the hospital or the midwife or your parents, even whoever recorded your birth, whatever they recorded, that's what you have to put into the software. Okay, well, those are our comments for today. Really appreciate your time. And I'll see you tomorrow. So, like I said, we're going to finish up with those 3 animals, and we will then have the weekend off, and then we'll start with feng shui the following day. So, anyway, have an amazing rest of the day. Thanks so much for tuning in. Please, again, if you could help me out, I would be ever so grateful if you could pass this URL on to your network. I would be very grateful. So bit.ly/stimulate your business, and let's do this together. Okay, thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.